a call, a meeting that has to do with our healthcare system. And it's become very obvious and clear to me that our healthcare system, particularly the state healthcare system, has collapsed. I don't need any more evidence. I have taken time out. I have sent people discreetly across all aspects and all our healthcare facilities in the state. And so whatever I'm saying here today comes from a position of personal information. This is not hearsay. It is what I have seen myself, not only in terms of the physical facilities, but as I've interacted with a broad spectrum of you practitioners in our healthcare system. The reason why I have come here today to discuss moving forward with you is that we have no other option. We have come to the end of the road. And I think this is the first time since 1984 that you'll be having a fundamental shift in the healthcare system in our state. Because if not for the people, I will not have won the elections. So from that perspective, I have no fear, I have no inhibitions in making the changes that we need to make for the benefit of our people. I said we have come to the end of the road because moving forward, we have now introduced the compulsory health insurance scheme for all Edo citizens in Edo. And I cannot justify collecting premiums from people when I am not able to offer them healthcare services. I cannot. So we are making that fundamental shift from a thinking where healthcare was solely the domain of government to one where healthcare has now shifted to the individuals. So the system and structure we operate has to change. We see the healthcare system in Edo as one. Because when you are sick, when you are ill, it doesn't matter where you get treatment from. It doesn't matter whether it's a federal facility. It doesn't matter whether it's a state facility. It doesn't matter whether it's a private facility. It doesn't matter whether it's a local government facility. The key for you is that I want treatment, I want to get well. So from that perspective, we will not discriminate. The health insurance scheme we've just introduced does not discriminate. Once you have your card, you paid your premiums, anywhere you go in Edo State, you must be able to get service. What are the key features of the change? You have been discussing amongst yourselves. First, government will now focus on its key role in healthcare, which is to create policies and to regulate the healthcare system. So it doesn't matter whether you're a teaching hospital, you're a state government owned hospital, or a private hospital, or local government, that the standard you need to keep in Edo has to be the same and will be regulated by the ministry. The ministry does not have any business managing any hospital anymore. All our hospitals will now operate like any other hospital, like any private hospital, because the citizen has a choice of either coming to our hospital or going to spend his money in a private hospital. So our standards must be higher than that of private hospitals, because we have more money as government to invest in the healthcare system. We've seen it in education, where we have improved efficiency and parents are moving their children from private schools into government schools. Whereas that was not the case before we made that change. So moving forward, you have maybe 3 weeks to organize the system. I send people to Igara. There's one doctor in Igara, only one doctor. And how many doctors are sitting in specialist hospital Benin? How many? And what are they doing? We have tabs, we have compiled records of people who come in, they don't stay in our hospitals, and they go and work in their private settings. I have enough records. I can prosecute anybody I want to prosecute and get conviction, but I'm not going to go there. And please don't let me go there. We just must make our healthcare system work for our people. There has been no month on the 26th of any month that you have not received your remunerations. And I know some of you earn twice what I earn as a governor in terms of salary. But I don't quarrel about it. It's good, it's fair. But please work for it. Earn your pay. Provide healthcare services to our citizens. We refurbished a 300-bed isolation center for treatment of COVID patients, and it's been shut down. Meanwhile, UBTH is overcrowded. You find people on the corridors. Those people who go there, they are Edo citizens. They are one of us. They are taxpayers. But because we have failed to provide services for them, that is where they go and seek care. And those facilities there are overstretched. Ditto in Iroa. So I have sworn to my God that having given me the opportunity to come back, despite all the opposition from the old order, I will change the healthcare system in Edo State. It is nothing personal. I have nothing personal against anybody. But we have no more hiding room. So I've come here this afternoon to appeal to you to join us in moving in this direction. But like I said, it is not personal. I am not here to end anybody's career. I'm here to appeal to you to say, look, we have drawn the line. Going forward, it's a personal decision to join us to move forward. Or to say, you know what, I'll take a bow. On no account will anybody now refuse postings. On no account would you be asked to go and perform a function and you do it the way you like. No. Because that person, that client, has a choice of going somewhere else because he has already paid for his healthcare service. And all our facilities must now be manned. Let me now see who wants to work and who doesn't want to work.
Giving us today, we've not had it before. The governor is not telling you that things are perfect from this end. I thought this should have been an opportunity for all of you, the practitioners, those who work in our health system, to take up on some of the things you think or you expect. We have told you what we have observed. And we have said we ask you to come here to assist us to find a solution. So I expect that each and every one of you will have something to tell us as to what should be done so that we fix the health sector.
I was appointed as the head of the department, so it became very glaring to me the very many challenges that the Central Hospital Benin was faced with. Medical wards house or beds is about 42 bedded wards, and on very many occasions there are spillovers of admissions because on the average every day in Central Hospital Benin, Department of Medicine, we have nothing less than 6 to 10 admissions in the medical wards. And like I said, many a times there are spillovers. And that is how we have managed while I was there.
In your same hospital complex, within Edo Specialist ESH, right?
Yes, sir.
You have how many bed facilities there? Right? You could argue in the past that okay, it's because people cannot pay, but right now we have both the healthcare provision fund and we have the health insurance. And I am saying that going forward, we cannot accept the attitudes and the complaints you are making now. Going forward, the Edo Specialist Hospital is the minimum standard we will accept from any of our hospitals. And so everything has to be structured in that light. So the excuses we used to make in the past that this one cannot pay is no longer valid because provisions are now being made. So how do we run a first-class nephrology center in our hospitals? Edo Specialist Hospital, you know, they have a renal center there. Has that renal center failed one day?
I run every Monday nephrology clinic at the Central Hospital Benin. And I have had many occasions to even help the Edo Specialist Hospital review their patients. The records are there, sir. Most of my patients who would need dialysis, I refer them there, and on many occasions, I review those patients without being paid by of course, I know I'm already a state employee, so without being paid, and the records are there, the doctors there, they will also attest to that fact, sir.
It's the poor among the poor in the society that patronize these hospitals. The services are provided in such a way that is affordable to the poor of the poor in the society. And I can tell you that in a facility where a patient card is 100 naira, as compared to UBTH, where a patient card is up to 2,000, 5,000, we may not get the kind of resources that you are looking at because we looked at it as a public service. Now, looking at some of the challenges we've had, as been mentioned by a doctor in internal medicine, there is collapse of some wards, and that, of course, reduces the revenue that comes to government. Because right now, you cannot admit many patients because they have to pass through my department. But there are no bed space to admit them, so we have that challenge. Even when they are referred to ESH, they can't even afford the care there, so they don't go there. So they find themselves in private facilities where they can negotiate what will be paid with the private doctor. Now, on statistics that you mentioned earlier, I can confidently tell you today, sir, that most of the consulting rooms have no nurses. It is not doctors that write diagnoses on the register which will be presented to you for statistics. It's supposed to be the nurses. They don't have nurses. So most times, these statistics are missed, and not that they are not there. Presently, you were magnanimous enough to increase the number of nurses to, intern nurses to 80. But the challenge we have is that most of these nurses are temporary nurses who will just stay 1 year and leave the system. And so what we have now is that we have a lot of nurses that are being retired, no replacement. We are running a facility where a full ward, we have just one nurse managing 30 patients. Systems don't work like that, sir. In UBTH, on an average, in each shift, you are supposed to have 8 nurses managing the wards. But presently, we have 1 in each of the wards. Most of our patients are referred not to private facilities, but most times to ESH or UBTH because they are government facilities. That is how the referral is, sir. Unfortunately, they can find themselves in private facility. We don't know how that happens, sir. A lot of the doctors in HMB has to be co-opted into your plans. It is very important for the development of healthcare in Edo State because once a lot of people are involved, it becomes more participatory than just instructions, and I think that will help in uplifting the healthcare in Edo State.
We are not doing enough given the investments we have on ground today. Right? Let us just accept it. In fact, COVID did not affect us because people don't even come to us. They go elsewhere. So that's the point you just made. Of over 10,000 people who were infected by COVID, you only treated less than 1,000, less than 10%. Meanwhile, you are the main hospital. You have the main hospital system in Edo State. So the citizens have moved on. They don't come to us anymore. But now, the federal government has a basic healthcare provision fund, at least to cater for the poorest of the poor. We've introduced health insurance. Should we now continue giving that quality of service and making that excuse? That's what I'm saying. Going forward, we can't. Because the people will take their own policy, their health insurance policy, they'll go to a private clinic and get care. This has been happening for years. Most of you have accepted it. Not because you're stupid, but because, you know what, that's how they want it. I'll take my salary at the end of the month. I'll go and do what I need to do elsewhere with my skills and make extra money. That's what's going on. So the system is dead. We all know it's dead, but we all accept, it's alive. You talk about nurses. Have you taken time to look at the totality of your staff strength and see who is doing what and who is deployed and who is even here that is earning salary? Maybe you look at it from your own word. That one administrator has not done what they need to do. Do you know how many people in the payroll of the health system in this state that don't come to work? Could those people not pay for nurses? I agree, we may have an issue with nurses, and we are seeking accreditation for a nursing school, and we are reopening the nursing school in September. But moving forward, should we continue to accept the attitude and the habits currently existing in the healthcare system? That's the purpose. And we have to change now. Because since last month, we started deducting, at least for civil servants, their health insurance premiums. That's the point. We're not looking back. Because we can give all the excuses. Yes, some of them are valid. But you know that within the same complex, that, Edo Specialist Hospital you're talking about, some of your clients still go there, right? You say they cannot pay. But I know how much we spend sometimes at the end of the month to offset debts of those who can't pay. The key is service. The key is quality of care. And we are going to insist that the doctors give us the value we pay for. I mean, how can you tell me to carry you along to change the situation you are in? That is the problem. I should carry you along to organize yourselves better, to provide healthcare services to our people. But when you are practicing your own private clinics, I don't carry you along. Neither do you carry me. So this blackmail must stop. You can't blackmail the citizens of Edo, and again, I'm not going to accept it. Because just listening to those final comments is like blackmail. And the people of Edo will not accept it. Because we're already down anyway. We're not getting anything anyway. If sick come to you, we go to specialist, to UBTH or private. So it's either you want to step up or you step out. Like I said, I can shut down our hospitals today, take the money and give it to private or federal institutions to make a difference. In fact, people will be happier. If I take vouchers now and say, okay, I give everybody a certain amount for healthcare, go and look for healthcare somewhere. So there should be no blackmail. No, absolutely no blackmail. We have to fix it. I'm telling you, I am ready to put lifeline for this. If you like, follow me. I'm not going to carry you along. You should follow me. Is that clear? Yeah, or follow me to Stella Basanjo now, all of you.
colleague opposition.
There are 2 days that will suffice for that purpose.
I'm giving you guys 1 week. You're going to, I know you've done your workshops, but you're going to do your workshops within 1 week to let me know how all our hospitals are going to be manned within the next 1 week. Postings to areas that are not served. The HR team is working with you. I want to account for every person. I want to understand what each and every one, particularly those above level 12, what they are doing in the ministry and in the board. Is that clear? Yes, sir. For me, I have spoken with the permanent secretary, the permanent secretaries on the new structure, and they will begin to work. By March 1st, we know who is doing what, so that we know where the gaps are. Those who are going to the hospital company and those who are staying in the ministry. And the hospital company is going to be run like a hospital company. Because like I said, we now have health insurance, and people who are going to come to you will have paid for their health care. So that reorganization needs to be completed within 1 week. And then we'll then have another meeting, another another workshop, internal workshop, to finalize that, so that by March 1st, we're going to be having a major health workshop in Edo State, right? Both virtual and physical, to explain to the world the new healthcare system that we now have in Edo, and all the structures the new structures in place. We're not going to achieve the level of efficiency we need from day one, but at least it's clear in our horizon what we need to do. I want the Edo Hospital Company to be more efficient than UBTH. It has to be. Because right now, we know, like I said, I have to make a decision. Do we put more money supporting you, or do we give the money to UBTH and IROA and St. Philomena? That's the choice we need to make. I need to put a certain amount of money in healthcare. The decision is, do we put it in our own system, or do we put it in, because at the end of the day, everybody will cater to Edo people. But I'm not going to put money in a basket. So if you guys don't fix our own system by the end of the month, I'll have to make a rational decision. Because at the end of the day, like I said, it's how many Edo people have access to quality care. That's what they care about. They don't care who provides it, whether it is state, it is private, it is federal government, because that's what they're dealing with now. Okay? We have lines, we have money ready to invest, but if the attitude is not right, I will not invest in this system. So you have 1 week to do all the internal work you need to do. We'll have a workshop, and then by the end of the month, we are good to go. Cylinders in this thing.
This one will take four cylinders at any given time. And then when you get into the new one, it's not distributed.
So what was that doing? You were just giving them cylinders. So that building is not piped to this central as well.
It was, this one was piped. This one was
initially that was not, but after we finished, they will now extend to like this one.
Okay, so that's the type they have stuck in. Okay. Well, how many you have? What do you have? Along within generation plan.
Our plant produces about 70 cylinders a day.
So you're producing.
You're producing. This is very comfortable. What we do is we have to go most times the staff is kind of comfortable working. But like our center, This corridor, that's a full glass thing here. This corridor, you can see the patient through this corridor. There are 12 on this side. That will can replicate, once they finish here, they will replicate that way. That can take up to 40 beds.
We are restructuring our healthcare system in Edo State. We've been working on it for a while. Not just the Edo healthcare system, but quite a lot of our agencies. As you recall, we've introduced Edo Health Insurance, which means that citizens like you now contribute to a health pool. And with your card, you can go into any hospital in Edo State to obtain treatment. Being the largest providers of hospital services, it is important that we upgrade our hospital services to provide better care. Otherwise, citizens won't use the facilities. And in any case, we'll be shortchanging the citizens of Edo State. So I've given them 1 week to go and organize themselves, to understand the things we need to do, policies, procedures, systems and structures we need to put in place to achieve the level of efficiency that we need to. We are making investments in hospital systems, we are making investments in our people, we are restarting the School of Midwifery and School of Nursing. The accreditation process is ongoing. So we're working to rebuild manpower, rebuild infrastructure, and to deliver quality service and quality care to people. If we have option A, B, and C. If option A doesn't work, we'll switch over to option B and C. The good thing is that Edo is very well positioned. The healthcare industry here is fairly well developed, and so we're not short of many aspects of the chain like some other places. So it's something we must do, something we're committed to. So there's no choice. With COVID, nobody can travel out for care. We are all stuck here, so we have to make what we have work.